obviously a major blowout last night on Sunday Night Football. 38-3 was the final. The Saints were in control early and often throughout the entire night. The question is, what did the Bucs blowout loss tell us about them, and what did it tell us about the Saints? I'll start before you guys get into your little, one-on-one here. I think the biggest thing we learned is about the Saints. I think that Drew Brees showed that he can still play at an elite level, and I had been casting doubts on him coming into this week. We talked about it. I know that we had this discussion a few weeks ago when we said that we don't know if Drew Brees could be. It was Jameis Winston be.
It was week one.
No.
Yes, it was.
No, we had.
It was against the Oakland. It was against the Raiders.
It was when we started the power rankings.
We had this discussion about 3 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, and we had a discussion of would Jameis Winston be better in that offense. I don't even know if it was on air. It might have been after one of the podcasts that we were talking about it. And I'll be the first to admit it. I questioned if he still had gas in the tank. He showed against a very good Bucs defense that he can still be that dude. And they brought back Mike Thomas, who he's got the gravity. Everybody talks about it with Steph Curry. Just being on the court, he makes a difference. Just being on the field, Mike Thomas makes a difference. He draws that attention, and he opens up guys like Brandon Cooks, who he's done nothing all year. Emmanuel Sanders.
Jared Cooks?
My bad. Emmanuel Sanders.
I thought you mispronounced gravy. I didn't think you said gravity. I thought you said gravy.
No.
Yeah.
He has that gravity. He opens up the game for other guys, and you saw how much better that offense looked with him in it. So if they can get him back on the field consistently, healthy, it changes the dynamic of that offense and that team really completely. And the defense looks really good against the great unit. I think it says more about the Saints than it does about the Bucs. The Bucs still don't concern me. They just brought Antonio Brown into the building. They've been still working on getting on the same page. They've showed flashes, but the entire season they've been kind of up and down. They've looked great at times, and they've looked subpar at other times. But with a guy like Tom Brady and Bruce Arians coaching them, I'm not doubting this team. If Antonio Brown can get into form, they'll be perfectly fine. I want to get all my thoughts out because I know that you guys are going to take over this segment. I'm not concerned about the Bucs. I think they'll be fine. But the Saints really impressed me in this one.
Thank you. I'm glad you finally give them some credit.
And I give them all the credit in the world. They were my main takeaway from this. And if Drew Brees can play at this level, they're a Super Bowl contender. That's been my main question all year. And if he can play at that level, they can really be a problem.
I just want to start off a little small. You asked a very simple first question. What does this tell us about the Bucs and the Saints? The Saints, this just tells us what I've been telling you guys for about 8-9 weeks now. The Saints are a Super Bowl contending team. The Saints can beat any team in the NFC if that defense plays the way it should be. Drew Brees threw to 9 different receivers. He didn't need to target Michael Thomas or spam Michael Thomas. He just needed him to be out there. Emmanuel Sanders, Alvin Kamara, when this team gets it together and that defense finally plays to their potential that we know it can be, this team can be an elite team. So this really just showed us that this team, well, this is win number 2, but we're going to get to that a little later. But this team just showed, this win showed us that this team can ball and can make the Super Bowl this year. And for the Bucs, it didn't really tell us nothing that this team, the Bucs are still Super Bowl contenders. I'm not saying they're not. They still can make the Super Bowl. They still have that talent. They just got to get it together, and they just got punched in the mouth. Humble yourself.
On the basis of what does this mean for the Saints and what does this tell me in terms of playoff implications and what they can do, it tells me absolutely nothing. All this win tells me is that the Saints are a great regular season team, and they've been that for the last couple of years. They're 1-2 in the playoffs since 2018. They had an embarrassing loss to the Vikings last year against Kirk Cousins, who is awful in primetime games and big games, and he carved apart that Saints defense. And since 2018, Drew Brees has a 115 quarterback rating in the regular season. In the playoffs, he has a 93 quarterback rating. So there's obviously a dip in performance that he has when he has to put on the big boy pants and play in a playoff game with a lot high, intense pressure on him. And the biggest wins in team history, and can we all agree that The Saints and the Bucs, it was a big win. It was a big win margin. They embarrassed the Bucs, and I won't dispute that. But the 3 biggest win margins by them, I'll let you know them right now. 2011, they beat the Colts 62-7. They lost in the division game against the 49ers. 2012, they beat the Bucs 41-0. The Bucs, they beat them 41-0. Did not make the playoffs. They went 7-9 that year. 2018, they beat the Philadelphia Eagles 48-7, your team. I don't know if it was led by Carson Wentz or Nick Foles at the time. I just choked up. But in the playoffs,
he beat both of them.
But in the playoffs,
He beat both of them that year.
they beat the Eagles 20-14 in a game that Nick Foles should have won if Alshon does not drop that pass.
Absolutely.
And then lost to the Rams in the conference championship.
Oh, they got cheated.
So what this tells me, if I can predict the future correctly based off anecdotal evidence, is that after the Saints have a big blowout loss, one of their biggest in history, they are going to lose in the playoffs.
Did you look up the Bucs' past history when they get blown out in a season? Did you look that up, or just the Saints?
I looked up Tom Brady.
No.
The Tom Brady is the Bucs. He is Tampa. So you want me to tell you Tom Brady?
You said the Saints.
Tom Brady is the Bucs because Drew Brees is the Saints. How long has he been there?
Hey,
how long has he been there? Let's
talk about this season. Let's talk about this season. You can bring up all the history you want. I don't care about none of that. 2020. Let's talk about it. Tom Brady has 7 interceptions. 5 of them was against the Saints.
Who cares?
No, it matters.
No,
0-2. And you know what's funny about you? You picked the Bucs to win this game. You was telling us, oh, AB's there. This is going to be an exciting offense. Mike Evans got locked up. He's been targeted in the last 3 games 6 times by Marshawn. And when Marshawn Lattimore is on him, he has 0 receptions. Marshawn Lattimore has owned him from the moment they started playing football in the NFL. Chris Godwin, he's back. He's nice. Yeah, he's good. He did nothing. AB, the guy you love and loathe about, he also did nothing. Rob Gronkowski, him and Tom Brady are buddies. Yeah, best friends. The connection is incredible. He's been hot the last 3 weeks. He's done nothing. The offense that you were praising about, that you were boasting about, you picked the Bucs to win. So I don't want to hear that regular season. You picked the Bucs to win. The offense you've been praising about, they came and they didn't do anything. Humble yourself.
It is the regular season. The
Buccaneers, football is not the NBA.
The Buccaneers is playoffs, baby. That's what the focus on.
What have the Buccaneers done in the playoffs?
That's what Tom Brady's focused on. I can tell you what Tom Brady has done.
Tell me what the Bucs done.
He is the Buccaneers.
Tell me what the Bucs done.
He is the Buccaneers. They won a Super Bowl in, I think, 2000 something, right? The early 2000s. Look, they've done something. But I'll tell you this right now. This performance will never, ever happen again. And I'm going out on a limb and saying, I will guarantee you that if the Buccaneers face the Saints, they will embarrass them when it matters. So, Tom Brady is sparked up when he loses by a lot. No, it's different. I'll tell you this. Let me finish. Hold up right now. Tom Brady is sparked up when he loses and he gets embarrassed on a national stage like he did against the Saints yesterday. Look at this. 2003. There have only been 3 times where Tom Brady has trailed by 28 points in a game. 2003, week 1 versus Buffalo. They lost 31-0. What happened that year, Riv?
Super Bowl?
They won the Super Bowl. Then 2012, week 15 versus San Francisco. They lost 41-34.
That's interesting.
They lost to the Ravens, who won to the Super Bowl, right? 2014, week 4 against KC.
This is interesting.
They lost 41-14. Everybody was like, oh, KC might be the team to beat. Patriots won the Super Bowl. So what this tells me,
was that on?
Wait,
what team was that on?
What this tells me is that Tom Brady, not only is he going to perform lights out to finish off the season, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will win the Super Bowl this season.
You're such a contradiction because, you love to talk about how football is a team sport and how everybody wraps around the team. Yes, Tom Brady did all that with Bill Belichick and the Patriots. Tell me about the Bucs. What have the Bucs done? Talk to me.
The Buccaneers, I think they've been overachievers, if I'm being honest. You have a team that you just assembled.
Overachievers?
You just assembled this team this season. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Rob Gronkowski. How many games do they have with Tom Brady, Riv? Tell me, how many games do they have with him?
This year?
Yeah.
I think Mike Evans played almost the whole season.
All 3 of them have played and they're healthy and they're on the field.
4?
They have 5.
Oh, 5.
5 is nothing. How many games do they have with AB, Evans, Godwin, and Robb? Just 1. Right now, the Bucs are still figuring themselves out, and they're close to being first in the NFC South division, which has some pretty good teams and tough matchups.
Talk to me about it.
Atlanta's no slouch. Carolina's a game. They're a competitive game every time they play. And the Saints, you'd love to talk about them about being Super Bowl contenders. That's a hard division. And the Bucs were leading it until yesterday. Now they're not, but they're going to be first. They're going to finish first. Everybody knows what the Bucs lack is continuity. I've always said that, but they're going to figure it out. And once they do, they're going to win the Super Bowl. Antonio Brown, Chris Godwin, Rob Gronkowski, Mike Evans, Tom Brady, Rojo, Ronald Jones. This is going to be something to watch. Every quarterback in their first year with Bruce Arians has 40 turnover-worthy plays. Andrew Luck, great. Carson Palmer,
Rojo
great.
had 9 yards yesterday.
Carson
Stop
Palmer,
talking about
great.
him.
Jameis Winston had it. He's not so great. Tom Brady right now, before the Saints game, he had 3 turnover-worthy plays, on pace for 6. Now he has 6. He's on pace for 12. That's 3 times less.
What?
That's 3 times. You should have been listening. That's 3 times less. That's 3 times less than every other quarterback had in their first year with Bruce Arians' offense. This offense is hard to understand, and Tom Brady's still learning to master it. But he's going to master it by the time the end of the season comes.
So let me ask you something before we keep going. You made a guarantee before that this wasn't going to happen again. Are you guaranteeing that the Bucs are not going to have a performance like this again this season, or specifically against the Saints?
It won't happen this season against any team, even including the playoffs.
So do you think they're going to go undefeated the rest of the way?
You know they play Kansas City in a few weeks,
I don't think
right?
they go undefeated, but I think they won't have an embarrassing loss like this. Not Tom Brady.
Jack, I have a question for you. You know they play Kansas City in a few weeks, but we're not even. Jack, let me ask you a question. How many? Because he's talking about the continuity and the Bucs. I get it. The Bucs are a new team. They have to get it together. They're 1-3 against competition. Two L's against the Saints, 1 L against the Bears, and they've beaten Green Bay. How long do you think it would take for them to get it going?
I'll say this. When you have Tom Brady and Bruce Arians, I will give them the benefit of the doubt. If they can make it into the playoffs, I'm not betting against them.
That's a fair assessment.
Is 5 games enough to get it together?
5 games?
5
in
games?
an NFL season? Nah,
It's 5 games.
I think you also have to give them the benefit of the doubt on the fact that there wasn't any offseason, there wasn't the OTAs.
The Saints are chokers.
And they've been dealing with injuries too.
It would make sense. That would make sense if he would have not picked them to win the game based off just their talent alone. You guaranteed a win yesterday.
I don't think I ever guaranteed a win.
Oh my God!
You can try to pull up the clip.
You said
I don't think I've ever guaranteed a win.
I think picking them to win is fine. I don't know
you
if I
said
would
the Bucs. You said the Bucs weren't gonna lose again. You said they were gonna win on Sunday night. That's what you told me. And then they went in there and they got smoked out by 30. 30 points. 30 points.
They're not going to do it when it matters. The Saints are chokers. They've been chokers.
And what have the Bucs shown you that they're not chokers?
They find ways
Stop talking
to
about.
lose.
Tell me about the team. What have the Bucs shown you this season?
What have the Bucs shown me when their back is against the wall and everybody likes to crucify them in the media?
What have they shown you?
After the Bears lost, when they had the most penalties, they had 10 penalties or 11 for over 100 yards. Relax. Chicago. They faced them.
They lost.
Everybody crucified them in the media. What happened the very next game? 0 penalties.
They smoked out.
That's the Tom Brady effect. And now they lost to the Saints, but this does not matter.
Now it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. What matters is what they're going to do in the playoffs, and the Saints are going to do nothing. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to do everything. They're going to win the Super Bowl.
Let's assess the game a little bit. What happened? Talk to me. What happened? What happened during the game? You watched it.
Look, what I think would happen is that the Saints had a great defensive scheme, and I'll go out on a limb and say that I think Bruce Arians and that Tampa Bay Buccaneers coaching staff is holding back. Not going to show you the plays they're going to do.
They definitely
they're going to wait until they face them and it's a real game. They're going to embarrass them when it's the playoffs.
Bruce Arians and that coaching staff definitely got embarrassed yesterday. They only ran the ball 5 times. One of them was a quarterback kneel at the end of the game. That's the least in a game in the Super Bowl era.
Bruce Arians runs the Tampa Bay Buccaneers run the most or call the most deep deep passes, deep routes.
Yeah, I
The
think you told
longest
me that.
progressing plays in the NFL. And Tom Brady, one thing he didn't have yesterday
It's time.
was time.
And when-
Donovan Smith is horrible.
And
But you got to give credit.
Against good
you
pass
got to give
rushers.
credit to the Saints on that.
and Sean Payton
I'll
said a
give credit
great
to the
quote.
Saints, but it won't happen again.
Sean Payton said a great quote at halftime. He said, "Whoever's going to get to the quarterback is going to win this game," and that's what it was. The Saints was getting that Tom Brady was giving him no time. Guess who? Well, more than one. It was an embarrassment.
So you give no credit to the Saints for this victory.
Oh, I give them credit. You won a regular season game. Hooray, you won a cookie, but you're going to choke in the playoffs. That's what happens every year. Minnesota Miracle comes to mind. Pass interference play against the Rams.
I wish I could talk about Tampa's playoff.
Then last year
anything.
against the Vikings. That's who they are. They are a great regular season team. They are a not so great playoff team. Hey, what's up, guys? You just finished watching a clip of the Pick Aside podcast. My name is Joel Moran.
My name is Jack Barteck.
My name is River Brown.
And we are your hosts for this podcast. We want to thank you guys for watching the clip. Like, subscribe, and comment, and share if you would care to, because it helps us grow. We're trying to make this a full-time thing. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for supporting, and see you next time.